I'm here with Jill Mortimer from Age UK. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
So can you tell us something about what is the scale of the problem with social isolation and loneliness in England or the UK?
Yes, in the UK we estimate for the Joe Cox Foundation that it's about 9 million people are experiencing chronic loneliness at any one point in time. That includes people across the life course, so it's kind of teenagers, young adults, young mothers, as well as older people. For older people themselves, which is Age UK's concern, or main concern, is probably about 1.2 million people, about 10% of the population. And it's stayed somewhere between 9 and 13% for the last 50 years. But the older population is growing, so more and more people are experiencing loneliness, and there is a higher risk with health conditions and with living alone, and that tends to impact more upon people over 80. So we'd expect to see, without some kind of public intervention, we'd expect to see a big increase in numbers over the next decade.
So a big problem. And what intervention do we know might be effective?
The things that we've discovered within Age UK seem to be most effective is certainly personalising services, that there isn't one service that would meet everybody's needs. You're different, what kind of rings your chimes isn't what necessarily rings my chimes. So what gives somebody, what the reasons why somebody became lonely in the first place. If it was bereavement, that's the loss of somebody very dear to them. If it's that their health has suddenly declined and they can't get around in the way that they used to, or if it's that they've actually always found themselves a bit awkward with people, those different ways of experiencing loneliness have different solutions. And what the basis of any solution is, what really makes somebody, what gives them pleasure and purpose, what would make them feel good about themselves, what would motivate themselves to get back out in the world and engage with the world outside. And so for somebody that could be playing Scrabble, for example. For another person it could be something like coffee mornings, which has been the more traditional type of service, but none the worse for being traditional. That tends to be women. We've found men in sheds has a big take-up. Or bereaved men cooking for one, which is men only. A whole series of different sort of services that either the voluntary sector can try and help people put something together, like playing Scrabble with somebody from the next street who is also lonely, or is a more formal organisation through a church setting, or a cinema group, or a booking group, or a knitting group. I mean, there's all sorts of different things that one can do, and the role of the voluntary sector is to facilitate it, is to try and make it happen, and to try and help people make things happen as well. And the key thing is connection, pleasure, purpose, such that people don't feel as lonely, don't feel as isolated, no longer need any particular support. They're able to just take it forward themselves. I think the word that Alex used was resilience, that they have the inner fortitude to be able to.
So how can one find out what is available?
Well, you need some resource in every place. I would say Age UK, because 120 of them already provide this sort of a service, not necessarily all with all the bells and whistles, but some resource where people know that's where they go, and that you mobilise all the community assets. It's not just the GP's receptionists, although they're very useful. It's not just the people who deliver medicines in the home, or the district nurses, or the police and community support officers, and so on. It's hairdressers, it's the post office, it's the library, it's the pub.
So it's a community.
It's a big community thing, and it'll be different in different communities. But the thing is that somewhere, and we would say Age UK is ideally placed, mobilise the assets locally and provides the point of reference. The organisation that holds the ring has the specialist competence and knows the wider formal services. For example, if somebody comes up who's clearly mentally ill and really does need specialist support, knows where to refer them.